So excited for this episode. Our guest today is not only one of my absolutely favorite people in the whole world, but she's also one of my clients. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a real live bride on today. She's getting married in less than a month, and we are on countdown. We're sliding into that wedding day, and she's going to share everything about her feelings, her most enjoyable things, her biggest struggles, and maybe some things I don't even know she's going to share.
You mean she's going to share all the things with us?
All the things.
Awesome.
So my favorite doodle dog mom, Katie Hill. Katie, tell us a little bit about yourself and that cute guy that's going to be up there at the end of the aisle.
Okay. Well, my name's Katie Hill, future Katie County. And Andrew and I met in high school. Actually, we weren't even driving yet. And so we're high school sweethearts, and he would come pick me up every day before school and like bring me sweet treats. It was super cute.
Oh, that's holy.
Yes. Yes.
Sounds like a keeper.
Yep. So we've been dating forever. I think he's been dating me a quarter of my brother's life.
Wow.
Which is crazy. But
I've already heard a little bit about these brothers, but I know that's coming up later in the episode, so we'll
Yes.
save
I
that.
have
That's
notes,
always very
Katie.
important.
I have
Yes.
notes. So
Right.
tell us a little bit about your engagement.
The story. of
The
our engagement.
story.
Yes, we love the stories.
Okay, well, it was actually Andrew's birthday, of all things, and so he knows that I do not like to get my Christmas presents early. His birthday is December 23rd, but he was telling me I had to get my Christmas present early, and I was adamantly against it. And I said, no, I don't want to go, don't tell me, I don't want to know, blah, blah, blah. But he convinced me that we were getting pictures with our dog, Nala, and I kind of had an inkling that something might be going on, so I made sure to get my nails done.
Smart girl.
And my hair curled. And we took pictures on the farm and my horses at the front of our neighborhood. And the whole time leading up to it, he had told me he was going to propose before the beginning of the year. So December 23rd was cutting it.
He was
close.
pushing it.
Yeah, I was like, there's got to be something coming on soon. But the whole time he kept messaging me being like, did you see something on the Christmas tree? Did you see this? Did you see that? And so I never really believed, and I tried to like search his pockets during the pictures to see if I could find a ring, but I couldn't feel anything. And then we got to a fireplace, and he like, we turned back to that, and then he turned around, and I said, stop, you're making me nervous. Like, you're making me think you're going to propose. He goes, well, I'm glad, because I am, and I want to spend like the rest of my life with you.
Oh.
Super cute.
Oh, you guys, he's the sweetest guy.
He's good.
I cannot wait for their wedding. I'm so excited. So I know when you called me, I loved it when I heard your venue because it's unique and different. Tell us a little bit about your venue and why you chose your venue.
Okay, yes, it is Castle and Key Distillery in Frankfurt. I've lived in Louisville my whole life and had never heard of it before, but it's a really cool place. We ended up choosing it because I wanted an indoor-outdoor feel, and I wanted it to be really fun, and so we get to get married in front of a castle in a garden. And then we get to have a beautiful reception in the Shooking building that has all these string lights, and Mike's going to make it really pretty.
That's right. Yeah.
So
We'll
that,
make everything.
And I wanted it to be an experience. I didn't want it to be just a wedding.
Mike, what do you think about her venue now that we've done a site visit?
Well, we've been there, and just the unique of the shapes of the buildings, the garden, the lights. I think everything is going to be so unique and different from everyday wedding.
The
you
sunken
see.
garden is gorgeous. I love a garden wedding anyway, but we were just there about a week and a half ago, and everything's in bloom. There's flowers everywhere. It's just going to be stunning. I'm so excited for that. And I love that you wanted it to be a whole experience.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of vibe are you trying to create? What kind of like vision are you having?
Well, I think the biggest thing to me is that I wanted it to be a really fun, like fancy venue where people got to dress up, but at the end of the day, I wanted it to feel like home to everyone. So I didn't want anyone to feel like, oh my gosh, if I break a glass or I spill this drink, that it's going to be detrimental to
Right.
Katie's wedding, and it's going to be horrible that this happened. And so no bridezilla moments, like nothing like that. So I just love that it created an intimate feel, but you could still have a large amount of guests and they could have a lot of fun and a different experience. But at the end of the day, it was truly Andrew and I and our relationship that stood out the most out of the whole venue.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
One thing I like about the venue is from where your wedding is to where your reception is, it just flows so easily. They're going to get up, they're going to walk across the courtyard or the garden and go right into where the reception is. And I think that's a good flow.
Yeah.
Most of the time you have to go upstairs or downstairs or go to another building
Right.
or whatever it is. This is a really smooth transition.
I love it.
I know you all are talking about venues, but we left out a really important event, the shower.
We did.
We have to kind of talk a little bit about the shower because I at least got to experience that.
Katie did have, I got the honor of being asked by the moms, as we call them, both Andrew's mom and Katie's mom, to also plan her shower, not just her wedding. And that was super fun for me. And tell them what you wanted. I won't speak for you.
So take the microphone.
Oh.
She normally doesn't say that.
Wow.
Go for it.
Yeah, take it while you can get it.
Well, I think the first thing is that I wanted one big shower. I think that as brides, you're kind of pulled in a lot of different directions during your time being a fiance, and quite frankly my family's really busy. So it was just easiest if one, we could just have one big shower logistically, but also I didn't want it to be like my mom's throwing me a shower and then Andrew's mom's throwing me a shower.
That division.
Yeah, the division between the families. It's really important that you're both coming together as one, at least for me personally. And so the biggest thing to me was that they both threw it and they both had a piece in it. So Sharon introduced us to the Reserve, hosted by the Refinery, and it was just a gorgeous venue that was just created, and Mike had a great floral lesson that I think everyone's going to copy now.
We want to talk about that a little bit more. So
yeah.
I know when I met with you, you said, I just remember it vividly, you said, I don't care what we do, but I'm not playing all those cheesy games.
Yep.
So that puts me in my planner hat on, like, what am I going to do to fill this time? And what did we come up with?
We had Mike, and he brought all these beautiful flowers, and he taught us all how to make floral arrangements. And that was their home, like the thing they could take home at the end of the day.
Are you hearing any
Perfect.
Feedback?
from your guests? Like, are you hearing
Oh.
any?
Does anybody have anything to say? Did they like it?
Yes, I was told so many times that it was the most fun shower that anyone has ever been to. And I really liked, so I have older people in my family, and the older ladies really loved getting to learn how to make a bouquet. But then all the younger people my age, I loved it. I had a great time. I was laughing the whole time. Like, it was so much fun. So
At first, I'll be honest with you, I was a little leery about it, but I thought, you know what, let's try this out. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
It was so
and
fun.
even after it was over, I would say at least 5 to 6 ladies came up to me and said, hey, can you do this for me in my office? Or, I mean, it was quite amusing
Well,
to
and
me.
a lot of the guests, they would come up to me and they go, we really get to take this home? And I'm like, yeah, it's yours. And it was a full on, like a florist had made you a flower arrangement. It was gorgeous.
And everybody did a great job. I mean, everybody did.
It was so fun. And we played just one little, not a cheesy game, but just a fun game while Mike was kind of setting up. And then we had a great lunch and did the flower arranging. And I thought it was an absolutely perfect afternoon. It was just everything I could have asked for.
So as a person that got to observe it, I was there to actually capture most of it. And I think the thing that surprised me the most was you had, and I'm not going to name ages here, but you had from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yep.
And I don't remember seeing a single person on their cell phones. I don't remember, people were talking at their tables, but they were talking
They were
about
very
the flowers
engaged.
and
Yeah.
they were so engaged in what was going on. And that to me, a lot of times I get to be in the back of the room and kind of what's going on. And I was so surprised at how in tune people were with learning to do this. Even the younger or any millennials or anything like that, you weren't like 2 or 3 of them sitting there being like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. They were all doing it and seemed like they were having a great time.
And we made it simple too, so it would be fun. And
Hats
they had-
off to
they had
you
a
on
choice.
such a unique shower, one that you enjoyed,
yeah.
but that was also memorable for your guest, because I don't know how much that really happens out there. Like you said, you're pulled in so many different directions. You actually seemed to really enjoy that day.
I loved it, yes. And I cannot take all the credit. Obviously, I had a great wedding planner and florist to put it all together. But yes, I think that was the most important thing.
I think one of the things that I appreciate the most about my time spent working with Katie is she knows what she wants. She has a vision in her head, but she's so sweet about it. But when she communicates with me, I'm able to actually see what she wants to happen. And I think that I've gotten to know her well enough now that I could answer for her. And as a wedding planner, that's super important because on that wedding day, I need to be able, what would Katie do? That's what I need to have in my head so that I can represent her. And I appreciate your open communication. And when you said, I do not want to play those cheesy games, I was like, 100% no games. That's all I just need to know. What do you want to do? So it was super fun. I had a blast. Let's talk about one of the things that I think is really unique about your ceremony. And you don't have to give away your secrets because we're going to have you back on. You tell as much as you're comfortable sharing. We're 3 weeks out from the wedding. We're going to have you back on afterwards.
Right.
I
know, but Sharon's just dying to get into this. But don't forget, you get to come back and we want to recap everything.
Katie is the oldest of 4 children.
Yep.
And Katie is the only girl. So she has 3 younger brothers. How are we incorporating these brothers into wedding day?
They are going to be flower men, and they got to pick their own outfits and their own song to go down the aisle to.
And are we going to share that today, or we'll share it later when there's photos?
I can do either. I don't
We'll
mind.
wait with the photos. I'll speak up.
Yeah, because I think that would be amazing.
Okay.
There'll be
But
There'll be video as well.
I've kind of heard, and our audience is going to want to tune back in for this.
Can I just tell you that Katie has made it such a fun experience for her vendor team. So we had our DJ meeting the other night, and her mom had a big cookout and had myself, the DJ, Katie's brother was there. 2 of Katie's brothers were there. The groom's parents were there, and we picked all the songs, and we played songs in the living room and chose songs and just had a blast. So I think everything about this wedding has been super fun, but there had to have been a struggle. What, if you could pick, it has been your biggest struggle?
I feel like this is going to shock you, actually.
Uh-oh.
Was
it choosing your wedding planner?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, anything else is fine.
Sure, Katie, now you go ahead and talk. I just want to get that out of the way.
I have thought a lot about this, and I think that probably a lot of brides feel the same way that I do in this era of 2022, right? It's like the era of brides, right? Everyone's getting married, everyone's getting engaged. And so I really struggled with feeling pinched between multiple different weddings at different times. I know everyone who's getting married right now, and trying not to compare my wedding to their wedding or feel like I had to do this thing because they did this thing. What helped me is that I did know what I wanted. So I think that I truly tried to stay true to myself regardless of that. But I think a lot of brides right now, we're all feeling that kind of way of, oh my gosh, is it really special for me because I'm in this 1 month and then my friend's getting married this next month and then this month and then this month? So that was a struggle that I had at first.
Well, I know just in your friend group, I'm doing 4 weddings where you guys all know each other. And I've heard that from other brides as well, that it's hard.
You know what, though? But what I hear you saying is you want to be respectful of those other events, but you still want that special feeling for your event.
And she's so thoughtful, I'll say, why don't we do this? And she'll go, well, I don't want to hurt so-and-so's feelings. I think they're doing that, or,
And it says a lot when you say you're hearing some of the same things from the others.
It's a very
That must mean that you have a very special friendship and circle of people that you're with.
Yeah. And I think we all felt that way. And I think you got to make the best of it at the end of the day. It's always nice to bounce ideas off each other, but it is truly something that I think everyone's going through right now.
Well, I think especially young girls in your age, that age group is your friends and everybody getting married are real close at the same time. So I think a lot of people deal with that doesn't want to say that. You know what I mean?
Or they don't know how to talk about
They
it.
don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah, I did a wedding back in June, and literally the bridal party. And Katie was one of those bridesmaids, but I could go, she's my client and she's my client, you know, and I love that. I love, you know, that friend group, my name is out now and that they trust me, but I do hear it a lot.
Yeah.
That they don't want to step on each other's toes.
I have a question for you. When you first got engaged, what were you most excited about in regards to the wedding planning? Ooh, you're on the spot.
I don't know. Wedding planning?
As far as preparing for the wedding and things, what was one of the first things you were most excited about?
Honestly, I was just excited to get married.
That's a good answer.
That's
a good answer.
And I truly knew nothing about wedding planning, which is why Sharon was our first hire. But I guess I was just excited. I honestly had been dreaming of that day for so long, and I knew things that I wanted to do that maybe like not everyone was doing, and that I wanted to incorporate. But probably like seeing my dad for the first time would be the one thing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And you're going to do not only a first look with your dad, but we're going to do one with our flower men as well, correct?
Yep.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to see that.
I think it's going to be really, really cool.
It is.
And I think another cool thing is your ceremony. Tell us about your officiant.
Our officiant is Andrew's dad, ordained online. But I think that just really goes back to my whole theme was, at the end of the day, we're having actually a pretty big wedding. But
What's your guest count now?
Well, we started at 220, inviting 220. We're at about like 160 right now with our SVPs. But I never wanted anyone to feel out of place. And to me, Andrew and I didn't have the same pastor growing up all the time. And so it didn't really feel right to just have someone that knew me come and marry us, or someone that knew Andrew come and marry us. So we really wanted someone who could speak to both of us and speak to both of us growing up. And so we wanted to include Andrew's dad in that way.
I think that's so
amazing.
cool.
That's cool.
And he is very much taking it seriously. You guys, he reached out to me and asked for his own meeting, and a meeting between myself and the officiant. Katie didn't come, Andrew didn't come, just because he wants to make sure that he gets it right. And I love that. I'm so excited for that.
Can I keep going?
Mm-hmm.
How many dresses did you try on?
I went to 2 stores, less than 10. I know that.
Really?
Maybe like 7.
Okay, sorry. I just randomly thought, I was like, I wonder if she only tried on 1 or 2.
No, I was between 1 or 2. But
You were between 1 or 2. Okay.
She chose the perfect.
I get a feeling that you kind of knew the direction you wanted and what you were envisioning, so that's why I wondered.
And I think I thought that. So I thought I wanted something simple.
Until you started trying them on?
Yes.
Girl, nothing about you is simple.
Sharon has known my true colors. But yeah, I actually went with something different than what I thought I was going to go with.
Sorry, Sharon. That just randomly came to me, and I just wondered, since she was so new, her vision, what she ended up with. But I think you should. I think girls, anyone out there, should try on different outfits to find what they really like. In different stores, I don't see any problem.
No, not at all. And honestly, a lot of girls think they know what they want until they start trying them on. Yeah. So super, super close to your wedding. I mean, we are sliding into wedding week. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Because there are other brides out there listening that at some point are going to be right where you're at. So what's
going through your head there as you listen to Sharon?
Honestly, I'm just ready to get married. I know that there's a lot of little pieces right now. It feels like have to come together at the end of the day. So that I'm getting packages to my door like every 2 hours.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, it is the fun part. All of the Etsy things that I've purchased. I'm a little nervous just to see it all come together, but honestly, I'm just ready to get married at the end of the day. And I think when you have a team of people that you trust, it's really not as hard as it seems.
She doesn't seem stressed at all.
But you know what? You said the right exact thing, because I mean, we talk about that over and over and over.
You're
If
18.
the right 18, then you don't have to worry about anything.
She's hired.
And I can tell by looking at her face that she's not worried about anything. That's the way it should
She's
be.
excited and happy.
She's excited, yeah.
And that makes me feel like we've done a good job.
You really hope that for every engaged couple out there. And in all honesty, I know we talk about using wedding professionals, but when this is what they do and this is their profession, this is the end result. Being able to sit here, have a conversation, and not be like, oh, don't mention this. Oh, don't bring this up to me. You know what I mean? You seem very relaxed. And I bet you're going to be one of the few people that remember most of what happens at their ceremony and their reception because you're going to be able to be part of it. Not worried about this and not worried about that. You're going to be able to mesh right in and have a great time.
And another thing that Katie is a superstar at, she, like I said, she communicates clearly. You know what she wants. But she also knows to let the professionals be the professionals. She doesn't micromanage. Because I think sometimes when you put your vendors into too tight of a box and you don't let them do, I mean, planning weddings is how I take care of my family. I'm not kidding around.
Leave them some room
This
to
is
breathe
what I
and
do.
do what they do.
Yeah,
Yes.
so let me do what I do. You know, florals is how Mike takes care of his family. He takes it very seriously. So you have to let us do what we do, and she's been so good at that and open to suggestion and new ideas, and I'm just pumped for it. I'm so ready to go. I cannot wait, and I can't wait to have you back on and share with all of our listeners, like, everything.
All the details.
Well, and maybe some things you thought you would feel or thought would happen that didn't, and
Like crying.
like crying. So Katie's mom, who I've actually known Katie's mom for about 30 years, and very good, you know, very
Ooh,
very.
maybe we could get her to come in with Katie.
Oh, well, she 100%
Oh,
would
she
do it.
would.
Oh, but
Yeah.
if Katie's
Sweet.
okay
No,
with
that's
that.
fine. Yeah, no, it's
It's
fine.
literally like a joke with us now that we're keeping a tally of how many times Pam cries. Because you literally can say, okay, we're going to try on socks now. And Pam's going to cry about the socks. So we are just so, I mean, there are tissues.
I mean, how is she going to make it through the day?
I have it on my assistant's notes that anywhere Pam is, there should be tissues.
I know, but is there a makeup artist to
Oh,
follow her
100%.
around? I mean,
We've
We're not worried
okay.
about the makeup.
Not the makeup artist. I'm sorry, but is there somebody to have her like a little thing that, you know, for the
Touch
back
up.
hair running?
Touch
Well, touch up.
I'll
Thank you.
keep her straight. I'll
Okay.
keep her straight. So we end every episode with rapid fire questions.
Now wait a second. We can't wrap it up. I have questions. I
I'm
have
sorry.
seen some of her ideas over here. You mentioned florals, and Sharon just zoom right on past that.
I'm sorry.
I know. Excuse us. We're gonna conduct the rest of this. Okay, Katie. So talk to me about your florals or your decor. You know, Sharon mentioned a little bit about your vision, but I mean, come on, Mike. You should be asking these. I'm seeing some of your ideas.
Mhm.
For those listeners out there, what's the vibe, or what was that? What
Don't
am I
give
looking
away
for?
your secrets.
No,
Well, there was
okay.
certain things that Katie wanted automatically right off the bat.
She already knew.
She
Okay.
knew what she wanted. I mean, from the little details such as,
Did you have a Pinterest board you took in with you?
oh yes,
Yes,
We have
it was-
aisle planner.
Yeah, aisle planner.
Which
Okay.
has a design studio in it. That, you know, shout out to Owl Planner. I'm not paid by them or anything to endorse them, but we are able to log Mike on, and as a designer, you know, when he knows he has an appointment coming up, he can look and see all the pictures that the couple has chosen. And
Which Kristina is looking at over here.
Yeah.
So I'm getting an inside scoop. Yes.
well, with all the whites and the creams, and that's so, I love that. That's
That's
me
classy.
anyway.
That's-
So
I mean, that
I'm excited to do it actually.
Yeah.
that seemed like when I first glanced at that, timeless is what I just thought of when I saw those images.
yeah, Mike, when we do a ceremony outside, and we're already in a garden, and there's already, I mean, this place is lined with hydrangeas, and does that make your job easier or harder? Because you have to kind of make everything mesh.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, anything that when it comes to florals, it doesn't make my job harder. I mean, you add flowers to anything, it's going to make it pretty.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I mean, this is a beautiful canvas to even start with. With the bushes going down the aisle and the lighting, and we're going to add candles and that kind of thing. No, it doesn't make it harder. I mean, actually, it gives me creativity that we've got a whole different canvas that we're not used to, such as a church
Uh-huh.
or a reception area.
So it's kind of fun.
It's fun, but it's
Yeah.
something totally different. Like the little house, I wanted to call it like a little,
I call it the mushroom house.
Mushroom house. And we're going to decorate that, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
We'll have pictures of that to show too.
Yeah, we're super excited.
Too, you did a great job. You took a tour with us to go see the venue.
That's so important.
Yes, that was really important. But there's also things that I didn't really love that I wanted to cover up down the aisle. And so it's really cool to see how we could incorporate florals and make it look like it was on purpose, but it truly was covering something up that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Ooh, we'll have to see pictures of that.
You know, that's another great tip. Especially if you're at a venue that your floral designer is not familiar with, ask them to come out and do a site visit because they need to know.
And also what she just said, if there's something that you're just not a real big fan of, ask how could that look change or cover up, or so to speak, what you just mentioned.
Well, like Sharon said, you were there a couple of weeks ago, and she snapped me pictures. We got to do something about this. We got to do something about this. What about this? This is horrible.
Katie doesn't like that.
X, X, and
That's
X.
okay. That's what makes it fun.
And he kept texting me back, I have a plan. I have a plan. And that's what I want to hear, that there's a plan.
In all honesty, I did want to talk about decor just a little bit, but before you completely wrap this up with rapid fire questions, what do you want to share out there? I know that you have said you've listened to the podcast before, so you know how this works. What would you like to share that we haven't asked you about? The floor is yours. Hurry before Sharon takes over the microphone.
About the wedding or about my advice?
Advice.
Either way.
I have my one piece of advice. I've been thinking about this for a really long time. I think that in this season of getting married and all the crazy, the most important thing is that you stay true to yourself and your fiance, whoever that may be. I am most excited about my wedding because I'm incorporating so many things that are truly just Andrew and I at the end of the day. And I can look back on other people's weddings, and I think every bride does this too. You kind of like see what you like about their wedding and see what you don't like and what you would incorporate or something. And the thing that stands out to me the most, I went to a wedding one time and it was not my taste at all. Nothing, I wouldn't have done personally anything that they had done, but I don't remember those things. I just remember it was truly them, and it stood out to me because it was what they wanted. So I think that my piece of advice is just stay true to yourself, stay true to the person that you're getting married to, incorporate those things that are little pieces of you throughout the wedding, and then everything else will just fall into place.
I think that's perfectly said.
Yes.
Because and
100%.
we've said this before, the main thing at the end of the day is it's all about you two. It's not about the wedding, even though we're a part of the wedding and we're making it come alive, but still the main thing is you two becoming united. So that's the main thing.
And when I leave a wedding, and I always, as we're packing up, I'm always listening to what guests are saying. And I say this to brides all the time. I never hear, boy, that was a crappy plate they gave me to eat off of. Or I didn't like my seat. What I hear is they really love each other. You can tell they really love each other. And when I hear that, I sleep good because I know we did a great job.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Anything else you want to share as an avid podcast listener? If not, Sharon's going to hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Let's see.
Any part of your journey or anything before the big day? This is the last chance. You have to talk to us before your wedding. No pressure.
No.
We may have to
She's
put
not
back
stressed.
around.
She's not stressed. I can't do anything.
I love her.
That
She's
is
just
awesome.
always got a smile on
She's
her.
always happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
She's truly excited.
Okay.
Shoot it.
It's my favorite part. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. You can, and you probably already know these because you listen all the time.
I thought you were going to change them up.
You cannot say your family and you cannot say your dog. What can you not live without? And remember, pumpkin spice season started yesterday. Just saying.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. Really did not know that.
See?
Did not know that. Okay, Mike.
Do you run towards the dance floor or run away from the dance floor? I bet you run right to it, don't you?
It depends on how many things of liquid courage I have.
Good answer.
We just talked about this at the DJ meeting because the DJ was like, are you going to be a dancer? And he will always tell you, the DJ will always tell you, that the guest follow the bride and groom's example, and she was like, well, I might need some liquid courage.
After that, I'm ready.
Okay, well, speaking of liquid courage, I'm going to ask you, it's twofold. Favorite shot,
Oh, right now, lemon drop,
okay? And your favorite drink of choice, alcoholic.
margarita.
Margarita. Should have known that, she said.
Well, Katie, we're counting down, and I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to. I'm going to be there to see you walk down the aisle, so I'm really excited about that.
He's going to hang with us.
Okay, I have one last question.
Mhm.
What is the picture you're looking most forward to looking at
That's a good question.
after your wedding? When you get your photos back, I'm not talking about
I
the
bet I
ceremony
know
the
the
next
answer.
day. Sharon, shh. Which one?
Okay, so Andrew and I are not doing a first look. So we're spending the whole time not seeing each other. So I want to see the picture of him when he sees me down the aisle.
That is Sharon's favorite thing to do is when a girl or when the bride goes down the aisle, she wants to watch.
I always make
That's
sure my
not
bride
good.
is set and fluffed and puffed, and then I just look at the groom the rest of the way.
I cry every time I see
Oh.
it too.
The goal is to make him cry.
Now, is your dog going to be part of your ceremony? I've heard it mentioned a couple times.
We love our dog, but she can't come to the distillery.
Gotcha.
But she
she's
really wants her
cute.
to make a trip.
Yes. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I've
Kate.
been wanting to ask that question,
That's a good
and she
question.
seemed like the perfect one to ask.
Because knowing Katie, she's thought about it.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
tell in that answer she thought about it. All right, we can't wait to have you back. Good luck on your day. I'm sure it's going to go great. You have an excellent team with these two right here, and I'm sure all the others that you've chosen. Thank you for taking time to come in and talk to us, but we can't wait to have you back. We'll let you go on your honeymoon and have a little bit of time, and we'll wait for you to reach out to us unless a couple weeks go by that we're probably going to call you. Okay, we'll get that
And
scheduled.
get your mom in here too.
Yeah, bring your mom with you too. That'd be fun. So thank you for everyone listening. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to go to your favorite podcast platform and hit the subscribe button. If you like what you hear.
Leave us a glowing 5-star review.
All right. Until next time, everyone wish Katie the very best on her big day, and we'll be back with another episode to follow up with her soon. Everyone take care.